He's the worst president in the history of our country, and she's the worst vice president. He went to Delaware, and he's laying on a beach sleeping all day long. And we will bring back the American dream, bigger, better, stronger, and just better, bigger, better. I'm here today with a simple message for the American auto worker and for the American worker. Your long economic nightmare will very soon be over. It's going to be over. We're going to turn it around. With your vote, we will defeat Comrade Kamala Harris. And we will bring back the American dream, bigger, better, stronger, and just better, bigger, better. We love the American dream. You don't hear about the American dream. When was the last time you heard about the American dream? They don't talk about it, although they copy everything else I do, so I guess that'll be next. They'll be copying. They'll be saying, oh, the American dream. She doesn't know what the American dream is. Over the past 4 years, Kamala and crooked Joe Biden have presided over an economic reign of terror, committing one financial atrocity after another. As vice president, Kamala cast the deciding votes that caused the worst inflation in American history. You're all victims of it. We all are. Everybody is a victim of it. It's a nation buster, costing the typical family $28,000. The job they've done, let me tell you, he's the worst president in the history of our country, and she's the worst vice president, and she's the worst border czar in the history of the world. And she's the one who gave us every single disaster that our country is facing right now. Look at Afghanistan. She said, I was the last person in the room. What a horrible, horrible event that was. Kamala's made middle-class life unaffordable and unlivable. And I'm going to make America affordable again. In addition to making it great again, we're going to make it affordable again. He went to Delaware, and he's laying on a beach sleeping all day long. No, seriously, who the hell wants to sleep? And who wants to sleep in public? He's sleeping. Do you think President Xi of China is at a beach sleeping? Do you think Kim Jong-un is sleeping from North Korea with his nuclear weapons all over the place? They don't sleep so much. And we have a guy sleeping. I said, why don't I just walk up? I don't have to waste a lot of time. You're all fans, right? Is anybody here not going to vote for Trump? I'm just kidding. Raise your hand if you have the courage to do that. I think pretty good. No, but, I said, why do I have to make a speech? All I have to do is say, she was the leader of the defund the police movement. And then I say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and leave. Because when you hear that, no, she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist. He's a Marxist professor. It's very nice. This election is not a choice between Democrats and Republicans. It's a choice between communism and freedom. That's what it's about. In addition, as part of our efforts to help working families, I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people to do it and to get it. But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning. That, if you talk to them, they'll say, oh, he really doesn't like, they have ads like I'm against it. It's just the opposite. By comparison, they're against it, but I'm totally in favor of it. I always say there are two awards: is the Medal of Honor, and oftentimes is posthumously where, they're not there. Oftentimes they've died in battle and they're getting the award. And then you have the civilian version, the Presidential Medal. And I always say I'd rather get the Presidential Medal, because the guys that came in, other than you and a few others, oftentimes they've suffered greatly, right? They've suffered greatly, or they're not around. But it's our highest award, and it's an honor to have you here, and I'm very proud that I was able to give you the award. Thanks, James. So just sort of in concluding, here is what we know about Comrade Kamala Harris. She just doesn't care about the American people, especially hardworking people or middle-class Americans. She just doesn't give a damn about you. So I go there, they ask me to have a picture, and they say I was campaigning. I don't need, the one thing I get is plenty of publicity. I don't need that. I don't need the publicity. Because they asked me to go yesterday to Arlington, and I did. And while I was there for a long time. It was very tough to get to because I was not in a good position to get there. It was very far away, but I did. I made it I got there right on time. And I spent a lot of time there. And while I was there, those families that asked me to be there, as they said, 3 families plus 1 soldier who was horrifically injured, both legs and an arm. And they asked me if I would be there, so I went. And while we were there, they said, could you take pictures over the grave of my son, my sister, my brother? Would you take pictures with us, sir? I said, absolutely, I did. And then I said farewell. I said goodbye. And last night I read that I was using the site to politic, that I used it to politic. This all comes out of Washington, just like all of these prosecutors come out of Washington. They all come out